Hola, ¿cómo estás? Namaste, salam, konnichiwa, ni hao, kef halik, privet to all my friends all over the world. Welcome to Entrepreneur Extraordinaire. Today I have a very exciting topic I want to discuss with you. And this topic has been brewing on the internet like wildfire. The question is, should you buy a house right now or should you rent? What if the market crashes and you bought a house and you lose a lot of money? But what about these really low interest rates? Are you paying too much for the house you're buying right now? Are you making a mistake? Should you be just renting and camping out? All these questions are going in your mind and people on the internet are feeding you lies. And in this video today, I'm gonna break down exactly with the numbers and the facts, should you buy a house or should you rent right now? Should you wait? Let's look at a few clowns I found on the internet talking about a market crash coming for the past 6 months. Okay, let's look at them. There's this white guy, the bald white guy right here in the video. I didn't mean to say that, okay. I'm sorry, I forgot I'm on YouTube. Not bald, there's a white guy. That's a fact, he's bald. But, okay, I'll stop right now. The white guy writing on a whiteboard talking about how direct income, direct interest rates impact your buying power and so on and so forth, and why the market's going to crash because the rates will continue to go up. Okay, fair and square. Anytime you see somebody writing on a whiteboard, you know they're obsolete, okay? Here's another guy, okay? Stephen Graham, who has lots of millions of views. He's also talking about a market crash. This guy has been 27 years old for the past 20 years since I've been watching him on the internet. Can someone please wake up and tell him that he's getting older? Oh my God. Anyway, he's saying, oh my God, 2.5 million people are going in forbearance. What's gonna happen? What are you talking about? Here's another guy, Meet Kevin, sponsored by Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank, okay? Ooh. This is a fake channel, folks. He's standing in front of a house with the grass all grown. He's also talking about a market crash coming, 20-30% values will go down without any statistics or data. So also Robert Kiyosaki is also predicting a crash for the past 12 months. And I bring that to you because it's interesting why all these people are saying the same thing and who they really are. There is one thing in common with all of them, which is what? Fear mongering. These are investors. They don't want you to buy a house. They want you to rent a house. Okay, they want you to rent from them so they can make more money. Folks, you have to see where the advice is coming from. If you talk to a realtor, they're gonna tell you that yes, you should buy a house. Why? Because that pays their bills. Do you see what I'm saying? You're paying their bills by buying a house. If you buy a house from a realtor. If you buy a house, you don't pay investors' bill, you don't rent from them. If you're a renter, you then pay the rent, which pays the bills for the investors. That's how it all works. So please make a mental note. On this channel, I'm going to give you free advice and unbiased advice because I don't care. I have renters, I have properties. I rent my property to low-income people anyways. I want to help them. Low-income housing is what I'm building all across Maryland, Virginia, DC. Okay, that's my bread and butter. So I don't care if somebody's in forbearance or not. If somebody buys a house or not, I'm not a realtor. It doesn't affect me. Okay, so if that interests you, stick around to learn more. So welcome to my channel. If you like the content, please smash the subscribe button. Show some love to your boy AK. So let's get back to the topic. 2.67 million people are in forbearance. What does that mean? Forbearance means that they have actually postponed the payment of their mortgage to a year or a few months or whatever that may be, depending on the situation, right? They're not paying any mortgages to their banks, okay? Let me tell you this firsthand. 2.67 million is not a lot of people. Ooh. Now you will say, AK, have you gone mad? No, I haven't. Let me explain why, okay? US population is 38.2 million, approximately grows and shrinks, right? Out of which only 76.36 million people own an actual house. That means they are the ones paying the mortgage. That is a small percentage of people. That is 24.18% if my math is right. And I was a math major in college, a computer science background. So I'm gonna throw that out there. So 24% people, out of which only 2.6 million people have not paid their mortgages since past 1 year, since the pandemic started. What is that? That's 0.8%. 0.8% people have not paid their mortgage. So the market's gonna crash? That's a weak point. If that is your point, then you have failed me already. And that's what I mean by fear mongering. Because 2.6 million people have not paid their mortgage or rent does not mean the market's gonna crash. There are so many other factors which I won't get into in this video. So you would ask, AK, rightfully so. So what's driving the house prices higher? Why are the house prices? Like one of the houses in my neighborhood sold for 1.3 million and had 13 offers. That doesn't always happen. So what's driving these prices higher? It's the demand. Builders are not building fast enough. Why? Because they were also scared of the market crash. The prices of lumber have gone up. The prices of appliances have gone up. Thanks to Trump and the China war, the prices of granite countertops have gone up. Everything has gone up. It's not just the builder. It's the materials have gone up. There's shortage of labor in the market. Not everybody can do plumbing. That is also causing the shortage, okay? So what are people doing? People are going and buying older existing houses. And what are homeowners doing? They're jacking up the prices. If you want my house, I don't need to sell. Guess what? You have to pay more. In simple words, that's all that's happening right now. In terms of numbers, home listings have gone down 37% since past 2 years, since the pandemic, right? People were in pandemic. They could not go to construction site to build more properties for you, right? And we lost 500,000 people in the pandemic. So how could you construct and keep the business going? We had an election and so on and so forth. You are aware of that? So home listings are down 37%, okay? However, the buyers are up 53%. 37% less supply, 53% more demand. What does that do? That increases the prices of the house. That's what's happening right now. And so I've explained to you what's really happening. Now let's go to the part of what you should be doing with that information. If you do decide to buy, ask yourself if you have 6 months of money in the bank as reserves should something happen, if you lose your job and you have a house and if you pay the mortgage. Is the mortgage, the bottom line with the taxes and the mortgage payment that you're paying, is less than or equal to 25 to 30% of your take-home pay? That gives you enough leg room to do other things with your money, right? Can you put down at least 20% down payment? I know there are loans out there that will pay 10%, 5%, even no percent. Don't get those loans, okay? Not in this market. You don't want to be stuck with a house with a high value of the house, overblown, overinflated, with a high mortgage, and you haven't put down any payment. Ask yourself also, is this a long-term move or a short-term move? Again, back to my point. If it's a long-term move, it's okay to make that move. If it's a short-term move, I would go and rent. Nothing wrong with renting, folks. I want you to understand that. There's nothing wrong with renting. You can always rent, okay? And expense it as a business expense if you have to. Watch my other videos for that. Nothing wrong with renting, waiting it out, seeing if the rates start to climb, the prices start to go down. Boom, you can make your move, okay? So nothing wrong with renting. Also keep in mind home maintenance costs. Maintaining a house is a lot of effort and expense. There's yard fee, there is yard cleaning fee, there's cleaning, people who come and clean your house. There is termite inspections and maintenance, okay? Your roof might break down, you might have to break the roof. There's leaks in the house, there's plumbing involved. There's all kinds of things. Your AC may not work in summer. Factor in all those expenses before you're committing to buying a house. So aside from the market, right, factor in all those things. Make sure you're ready to buy the house. And that's why those 6 months of savings in the bank will help you for a rainy day. So be smart about it. Don't just jump into it. Be very smart about it. Be very deliberate, and then make your move. And so if you don't know where you're going to be in the next 2-3 years, then just wait and rent. Simple as that. Don't think, don't ponder, just wait and rent. Okay. Otherwise, if you know where you're going and you have an idea of what you're going to be doing in the next few years or next 4 or 5 years, lock that interest rate. Lock that interest rate. Again, to recap, if you think you'll be moving in the next few years, let's say you move to Virginia, you want to go back to Seattle in future, do not buy a house right now. Wait for the prices to come down a little bit. The rates might be a bit higher, and then make your move. Then you pounce, then you get a deal. But keep in mind, there's a balancing act. the rates will keep going up and up and up and up. And you don't want to be caught in that battle. You don't want to be caught in the battle of chasing the rate. If you find a good or decent deal, just lock it. Lock the house, lock the rate, and buy and be happy with it, okay? House is a long-term investment, okay? It's not a short-term investment. So if you'll be there for 5-6 years, you'll come back on top. I'll tell you a personal story. I had bought a house up here in Ashburn a long time ago for $500,000. A few years ago, right? Market crashed. I had gone down $75,000 under in that house. Well, I rented the house. I put it back on rent, and I was collecting, a few $100 positive cash flow. I kept that house for 5 years and sold it for $50,000 profit, okay? So that could also happen to you. Watch my other videos about how to get around this, okay? If you get stuck in a house and you bought it at a highest price, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can always rent, you can always get out, you can always sell. There's a million different ways. Also keep in mind is that your monthly payment, even though the prices are higher, because the lowest interest rates is going to be lower historically than someone who paid less for their house, okay? A $500,000 house monthly payment would be less in this market than 10 years ago on a $700,000 house payment. So you have to keep that in mind. Do you care about the monthly payment, or do you care about the overall price of the house? So keep those factors in mind. If you like the content, okay, smash the like button, show some love for your boy AK. And as always, I enjoy having you guys. My channel is growing. I have over 500 subscribers now. My Instagram is growing. On Instagram, I post a lot of stories, and I have also started something which I call them reels or short stories. So you can get some tips of the week or tips of the month, and I give you free tips on lots of things. So please check out my Instagram. They're very quick, like 30 seconds of your time to learn something new and grow from us, right? Now, if you're an investor, be careful. The banks only care about their payment. They don't care if your renter is paying the rent or not. And as soon as the government gets off their backs, they will start coming and taking over your property. So be very careful about that, okay? And renters also don't care. And renters, some of the renters don't have jobs. I have people who are renting my property, they don't have jobs. So be very mindful. But once again, thank you so much for coming to my channel for this information. I hope you guys realize, be careful who you talk to, who give you the advice, because that can change the game. And if you want the right advice, this channel will give you unbiased advice. I hope you all make money. I hope you all prosper. Until then, until the next video, I love you all. We'll see you again in the next video. Thank you. You're better than me. It's not to see, it's all that you wear.